Good day. My name is Engineer Theocracy. I'm an heliciculture, a civil engineer, heliciculture by practice. I want to take you through the journey of snail farming. One thing you need to understand about snail farming, probably you've been in one of two classes of snail farming or you want to venture into snail farming, you need to get something clear. Because the more I go through this statement and wrong information going on in the internet, I decided to come out and expose the truth. Now, you should understand we have two types of snail farming system. One, majorly practice, is intensive farming system, extensive farming system. Now, why do so many Nigerians focus on intensive? Now, let me tell you one thing about snail farming. Nigerians have this mentality that anybody that goes into farm work are the poor ones. Yes, that is what makes people who are running away from farm, that when you are doing farm, it's equals to poverty. It is not true. So when the system of snail farming comes in, the approach they gave to it was just to pick snail and put in the pen, just as they practice in farming. They put them in the pen and they lock it up there and feed them to grow. And they start counting their money in papers. My brother, let me explain something clear to you. One, snails are vegetarians. You cannot put a vegetarian in a pen and expect the vegetarian to do well. No, you cannot. One, the leaves they eat in the bush, all the food they eat in the bush, you and I call them grass, but they are not really grasses. So you cannot put them in a pen and be feeding them well and expect them to do well. It is not possible. Two, they are free-range animals. Snails doesn't build houses. Check all the animals, ants, lizard, rabbits, grass cutter, and so more. They all build houses. But snail doesn't build houses. They lay their eggs anywhere they see. They till the ground. They enter there just to get cold humidity. And they lay their eggs and walk everywhere. When it rains like this at the back of the plantation, you see snails everywhere. They don't build houses. Now, God who created those animals to be free-range animals, moving around animal, they don't have anywhere to stay, they just move around in the desert. Do you think you can cage that kind of animal in a restricted place, like as if you are putting them in an isolation center to make them do well? It is not possible. In snail farming, because sometimes you wonder, why is S&T snail production getting it right? We are not the only snail farm in Nigeria that are doing well. But it is high time S&T comes out to expose those people who claim to be snail farmers, snail instructors, snail this or snail that. Now, let me tell you something that is very popular. When your snails start dying, when you start doing intensive farming system, call your instructors, they will tell you, did you treat the soil? How can you treat the soil for snail farming? Who treat the soil in the forest? Those snails we see in the forest, we see them, we pick them, we eat, we consume them. Far back years till now, who is treating the soil for them? My brother, that is extremely pure lies. That you pack the soil, you have to fry it to kill some pathogens, to kill the germs inside the soil before you put them in the pen. If not, your snails will die. Those are logic. I said they are logic. Nobody treats snail soil in the farm. Can't you just think about that? Must you be told everything and you just accept? Who treats the soil? My brother, that is F9. Secondly, there's what called POL, pole. It's a point of lay. When snail gets to point of lay, everybody is crying, I want to buy point of lay, I want to buy point of lay. What is point of lay? Point of lay. Do you take the snail in the lab to know it's about to lay? How do you identify it? Is it by age? What species are you training? Be it fulica, Ashatina fulica, Ashatina marginata, whichever species. These three species are the major species in Nigeria. Ashatina fulica is not in the market. We don't train it. It's everywhere. It's not for farming. Ashatina, good. Ashatina marginata, good. But these two species, when do you know that they are point of lay? Listen, there is nothing like point of lay. All snails, when they grow to maturity, sexual maturity, they release chemical. They extract out some chemicals to attract another snail. You know they are hermaphrodites, which means they are not male, they are not female, they are both male and female. They will mate and lay. So you're in the pen, doing pen and your snail lays egg does not mean you have started farming. The ability for your snail to grow from that baby to big ones, this is not even the big ones, to the biggest African giant, my brother, that is where the real farming comes. You go to the internet, you are browsing, checking people on YouTube, what people say here and there say, you gather and go and establish your farm, guy, you will fall. That is a simple truth. Pay some money to get some knowledge and establish a very effective farming system. We are to tell you more about snail farming. Gradually, one by one, they will be all exposed. The truth is, snails need loamy ground, loamy soil. And what is the function of loamy soil? Because some say snail need loamy soil, put loamy soil, put loamy soil. Do you know why they use loamy soil? Immediately they drop their eggs on the ground. They drop it in a loamy soil because loamy soil is the only soil that retains water. And when they drop the egg on the floor, incubation starts immediately. They normally cover it with some particles of greens, some covering leaves, so that incubation will start. So if it is not loamy soil, immediately sun comes, the ground will dry off, leaving the egg there, and the egg will spoil. So they prefer putting it in a very cool humidity to make sure the egg hatch. That is the function of loamy soil. Many don't know. So whatever farming system you wish to do, loamy soil is the best. Putting putting the eggs in a plastic bowl, buy a takeaway or small plastic bowl, you put your eggs, you arrange your eggs, and you go and put it somewhere that is incubation. Sorry, who is giving this egg plastic in the forest? Who is giving them takeaway papers in the forest, putting their egg for incubation? Naturally, they drop the egg on the ground, cover it with some leaves, incubation starts. Within 28 to 30 days, the eggs will hatch, and they go, because they are wanderers. They move everywhere. The mother doesn't even know when they hatch. So, I will come back again. Once again, we are from S&T Snail Production. We are doing well. But if you argue with my points, then look at the whole farm. This is an harvest from our farm. And you say we are liars, we are not getting it right, we don't have knowledge. If I can harvest all this, then I am successfully wrong. Then you are successfully right. Thank you.